cats are.
Winners don't use drugs.
Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday instead of happy Saturday. It's been a long time since I spoke anything about directly, direct comic book related. Everything else I've been talking about has been, comic book video games or trading cards. And comic books and video games are what I started doing my channel with, so I decided to start this show. The Edge, talking about the blurred lines between heroes and villains that took over comic books I would probably say from mid 80s to the 90s when I dropped out of comic books for a good two decades.
Wow.
I'd say from 95 to about 2015. Yeah, 2015 is when I started picking up more like small pictures of stuff I missed. Working in Manhattan, you would go by the tables out on the street of the street vendors, and they would have boxes and boxes of comic books. And I used to just, stop and just flip through them until one day I saw some old Punisher issues that were pretty reasonably priced. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me get those. And I decided to go back to my YouTube roots and talk about comic books. But I'm joined here by Tommy, Vinny, and Adam. Thank you guys
Yo.
coming and hanging with me for this.
Yeah.
Vinny, I know you said you don't know much about Lobo, and Adam, you said you know mostly about from the cartoons about Lobo, right?
Yeah, and Injustice video game. Yeah.
But Tommy, you were a Lobo fan, correct?
Oh yeah, I used to love that freaking comic.
Yep.
When he started, and that's how I first found it, from his own comic, and then I went back searching and I started picking up all the Legion books, and like early Lobo, from what you wind up getting later on, you get Lobo, he gets chopped up and he regenerates. There you go.
Yep. This is
he didn't look as buff.
This is where he joins Legion. Yes, this is way before. Well, not way before. Probably about a year or two before Simon Bisley gave him his tremendous makeover.
Mm-hmm.
But also, see, I can't remember if this was the first Lobo story I read or if this was the first Lobo story I read. You knew this one too, Tommy, right? Him versus Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the artist on that?
This is Kevin McGuire.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I remember some of that guy's work.
Or is it JMD Matisse? I think it's JMD.
No, JM's the writer.
Okay, yeah, Kevin McGuire and Al Gordon. Al Gordon's the inker. Okay, yeah,
Nice.
Kevin McGuire. Yeah,
That's a good team up.
Yeah, but this was the first part of that, and this is the second part of that, where it's like reverse. Guy Gardner has the upper hand here, but Guy Gardner doesn't really get the upper hand in this issue. They just did this for for shits and giggles, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But this was Lobo being forced to become a hero because he was a straight up villain, and he loses a fight to this guy on the floor, Viril Dox, who he's a clone of Brainiac. Is that what it was with him, Tommy?
Yes.
Yes, he was one of many clones of Brainiac.
Well, the interesting thing about Lobo, too, is when they first conceived him, if you cut him or you did anything to him, he would regenerate a Lobo.
And Viril Dox is the one who took it away from him.
Right. He lost the fight to Dox in a bet, I think it was and that's when he basically had Lobo neutered.
Yep, and Lobo is forced to become a member of Legion. He's like a begrudging member of Legion. So that kind of like did the whole, okay, you're a bad guy forced to be a good guy type thing. That's kind of like why I wanted to start this series, because that was a tremendous thing in the 90s. They did this. They did this with Venom. They did this they had. Remember when they started putting Venom in heroic spots?
Oh yeah.
Because Venom was straight up a villain.
Mhm.
He had every reason in the world to hate Peter Parker and to want to kill him, and then
Right.
got so popular of a character. And it was the same thing with Lobo. Like they said, all right. So here is the Simon Bisley series. This is the Lobo that everyone grew to know in the 90s.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
friggin'
That's
Roy.
yeah. That's the cover that I remember.
Yeah.
That one and the second time I ever saw him was the one from behind, and it looked like he had different body parts. Yeah, I think. It was
Yeah,
that one.
the part 2 of this. This is Lobo's back. This is the second miniseries.
Yeah.
The second issue of this has that where it's like, yeah, he has a girl's body because in Lobo's back, he dies and he accidentally gets sent to heaven. And they're trying very hard to get him out of heaven. And they end up reincarnating him as a woman.
Wow. I'm surprised they haven't done that now in 2025.
Well, they did a reboot of Lobo, and the Lobo they had in that one was very like soy looking.
Yeah, the skinny Lobo.
Yeah, I
What's
remember
up,
seeing
Vigilante?
that.
How you doing, Vigilante?
What up,
What's
Vigilante?
All right, yeah, but see, the thing is, villains are always going to fight villains anyway, too, you know? We
Yeah.
always had the villains facing off with each other.
Exactly.
Okay, pop quiz. I know you should know this, Slasher. But
Yeah.
Anybody want to take a guess what Lobo's name means in Khazarnian?
He who eats your entrails and thoroughly enjoys it.
Damn it! I said I know you know it. I want to see those guys have a guess.
Whoops,
That was my
bad.
second guess.
Whoops.
Oh, shit.
I didn't hear that first part, Tommy. My bad.
Oh, shit.
But so all right, let me go to the intro. The very first Lobo appearance.
The Omega Man.
Yep, Omega Man number 3. And
Capcom invented him?
huh?
Or not Mega Man?
Not
Oh.
Mega Man.
Okay. My bad.
Omega Man. Which wasn't that a freaking wasn't that
That was a movie. The
yeah,
Omega
Charlton
Man.
Heston.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the I Am Legend story.
So this is a very unflattering costume for Lobo. This is how we were introduced to him.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
I showed you this a while back on the toy stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have this issue. I remember my friend's sister got it. I was like, oh, man. I will do you sexual favors if you will give me that. No, I didn't say that to her. That would have been outright rude. I was thinking it, though.
It was after you were done. He said, "Hey, now give me that comic."
But this is all right. So this was pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths. So after the Crisis on Infinite Earths happened and they retconned everyone's storylines, they also retconned Lobo's storyline. Because Lobo was originally not from Zarnia. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, bro.
Yeah, you're not giving me some trouble. I was just like sitting here watching spinning you.
But I want to see exactly when they started retconning his because okay.
The last Czarnian.
And the funny thing
Yeah,
was,
but originally it wasn't Zarnia. Originally,
well, in the books when they have the last Zarnian, there actually is an issue where he finds out he's not alone, and his high school teacher was still alive.
yeah, the very first issue of his miniseries.
Yeah,
Yep. All right, so it says he was a Volorpian whose entire race has been exterminated by scions and was partnered with Bedlam. Okay, so when they retconned it to Zarnian, they made it that he killed everyone on his own planet. With a science, I think they said it was a high school science experiment.
Yep.
And he let loose a bunch of flying like scorpion type insects loose on his planet, and it killed almost everyone. We find out until
On
the
purpose?
first issue. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm hearing he ate Taco Bell after the 90s.
Well, he also ate a lot of steroids too.
Well, listen,
Just look at him here.
I've been to the old country, and after seeing the people there, I'd do the same.
But do you have access to flying poisonous scorpion creatures?
No, that's why they're still around.
Vendetta.
Well, and that's since he's the last, I think that's why he has such a love-hate relationship with Superman, because he's also supposed to be the last of his planet.
The last in quotations.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Aside for Supergirl,
Supergirl.
and all the clones.
Yeah, Chris, exactly.
And
Look
Crypto.
the other way on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crypto too.
Clones.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he have a horse and a cat as well?
Yep.
Well, you know what though? They never said he was the last Kryptonian. They said he was the last son.
The last son
Krypton.
of Krypton.
Oh, okay.
True, that's true.
That
But
is
how do they
true.
explain Zod then?
Exactly.
Maybe he's not a son of Krypton. Maybe he's a son of the adjacent
He's a
planet.
son of a bitch.
There you
He's
go.
a lying son of a bitch. That's what he is.
That's also true.
How everyone wants to claim these days that they're the first. He was doing the opposite.
He's a bastard, is what he is. His mom slept with one of those other Zagnuts. And, I don't know.
Now you're messing with her.
But in this
Zag a nut.
see, this was weird because this is Justice League International, and it started off as just Justice League. Then this series became Justice League International, and then it became Justice League America.
Okay, when it became America, is that when Bart Sears jumped on?
Bart Sears was doing Justice League Europe.
Oh, Europe, that was it.
Yeah. But I think eventually Justice League Europe became Justice League International. So they jumbled up a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. I remember the other title. Because my brother had a couple of those first issues.
Yeah, and he beats the ever-living shit out of Guy Gardner in this issue.
Which is always
Oh
great.
no!
That was 89?
This was, 89.
They killed Kenny.
Oh, 88.
Guy Gardner was a dick.
Oh, yeah, Guy
Hey,
Gardner
what's
was
up,
a dick,
Fester?
but he was a good character.
Mm-hmm.
What
What's
up,
up, Frank?
Fester?
How you doing, Frank?
What's up?
Thanks for stopping in, bro. But, all right, so where's the part where he beats the ever-living shit out of Guy Gardner?
No, Guy Gardner
But-
was all lumped up.
In this one, they were actually considering making Lobo part of the Justice League. They were hard up for members. So after Lobo beat the shit out of Guy Gardner, they were going to put him in the Justice
They're
League.
like, we like you, guy. You got a good style.
But
You could take a beating.
I think, all right, so he tangles with all the Justice League on their ship. And he ends up getting into it with Martian Manhunter here. Yeah, this guy's art was awesome, man. I love the way this guy drew these characters.
Yeah, Kevin McGuire is really good.
Yeah.
I have a Batgirl that he done a couple of years back. I think it was like 6 issues or something.
90s?
No, 2000s. Honestly,
Oh,
maybe
really?
maybe
He was
like
still in the
2000.
game at that point?
He was still doing some work. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I picked it up. I'm like, oh, this style's fucking cool, and I recognize it. I'm like, what do I know this guy's work from?
Did he
But,
ever cross over to Image?
That I don't know.
Because I know a couple of the lesser known DC guys ended up crossing over to Image.
I mean, he should have. Guy's style's fantastic.
But yeah, and Frank, sorry, no man thing. No man thing on this episode. My friend Frank is a huge Man Thing fan.
Oh yeah,
No, he's not. He just likes to fucking joke like he is.
gotcha. I was
He
gonna
did.
say,
He did go to a Comic-Con once, and he brought me back like a fucking trade of Man Thing, a black and white Man Thing trade.
Yeah, you got to be careful saying that character's name in certain chats. They'll take it the wrong way.
Man Thing.
oh shit.
But all right, see, here's another example of a hero, villainous hero, the demon over here, who Lobo has had many fucking encounters with.
Oh yeah.
This guy was another great artist too. I can't remember how do you pronounce his last name. Sem Semix, Val Semix, but he's the one who started doing the regular Lobo series. This one.
Okay.
Look at this fucking. This
Oh,
was the
damn.
gimmick. The gimmick cover is his fly. You see what he's saying? But yeah, this was the guy who started doing. He was doing these issues of the Demon, and then when they
Cool.
gave Lobo his own regular
It's
series,
Etrigan, right?
yeah, Etrigan the Demon, yeah,
Yeah.
a Jack Kirby creation.
Nice.
Yeah, he's one of the.
I like when they
One of
put him into the Batman cartoon. That was a pretty good one.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. That one was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But Kevin McGuire, he's 64. He's still around.
And he's still working? He's still doing stuff?
I don't know if he's still working. I'm trying to find out.
Did he Yes, I already asked that.
What's
Because like if he was gonna be doing Image, it would have been like his own creation, right? Everyone got to bring their own creations over to Image.
Yeah, for the most part they did, yeah.
Because there was another Superman artist, Jerry Ordway. He was doing this one called Wild Star.
Mm.
I'm sure you've probably seen it, Vinny. I'm sure you've seen what it looks like.
Wild Star.
Yeah.
Maybe if I have seen it, I might recognize it, but
Wait, what collection, Frank? You mean like a whole bunch of issues of Man Thing? Maybe one day I'll bring on Frank so he can show off his Man Thing collection. Just don't show your Man Thing. But so this was another early Lobo story. This was a Superman storyline, and this is where Superman first tangles with Lobo. So I'll open this. I'll get into it. So Lobo's in a bar on some planet, and he hears these two aliens talking about how tough an opponent Superman is. And Lobo isn't having that. So he takes offense and tells them that there's no way Superman could stand up to him and that he could kill Superman. So
Singing a Kanye song.
yeah, here he is getting fucked up in the bar.
Bite me, friend boy.
right. I lost interest in McGuire. He's a psycho lefty.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, hardcore.
Oh. Boo.
Yep,
well,
almost
me-
following him, and then I'm like, no, I'm not.
Never meet your heroes, everybody. Never
Nope.
meet your heroes.
Well,
So Lobo is, he takes the bet that he could go to Earth and kill Superman. And he runs into this guy, Bibbo, who is Superman. You see, he's got the shirt that says Superman's pal. He's picking his nose.
Yeah. What happened to Jimmy Olsen? I'm kidding.
No, this guy's a fucking drunken fucking idiot.
I
See,
remember
Lobo-
that stupid character.
Yeah, Lobo smashes him over the head with a fucking bar stool.
Yeah. As he should.
But he ends up going on with Lobo on his journey. And so the aliens gave Lobo these recording goggles to have proof that he killed Superman. And it sucks because I was looking high and low for the issue I had. Oh my god, it's so annoying. I was looking for it, couldn't find it, and it's part 2 of the story. What's up, Cotton? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for stopping in, man.
Hey.
Well, I mean, it was such a good story when they put out. You remember they put out that sleeve set of Lobo books? It was like 3 books.
I remember like reading all the preview magazines and shit. They would show it all the time. Like, do you remember they had this monthly thing? It was just called previews. It was a really thick, like black and white. It had everything in black and white, everything you could pre-order and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to see that Lobo thing in that, and they never had it in the comic stores.
It was so hard to find. I mean, when I found mine, I was so happy to get it, and then unfortunately, that was one of the ones that got stolen.
And that was like, wasn't it like $30 or $40?
That it was something at least like that, yeah.
Yeah,
but like I said, it was hard as shit to find. It took me a while to track it down, but.
So did they have? They must have had all his early Omega Men.
No, really, they didn't
done?
have a lot of that. No, I think they had some Legion stuff in there. They had the stuff with Superman. They had some reprints of some of the later stuff. So it was kind of like a collection of some of his like best hits and stuff like that.
Okay, but no origin. Wow, that's. I guess they wanted to distance him from the that purple and orange costume as far as they could fucking get, you know.
Yeah.
But so when he ends up meeting up with Superman, see, this was the storyline was called The Day of the Krypton Man. So this whole thing was Clark Kent was getting consumed by his Kryptonian side. He was kind of being like, you know, the way the Vulcans were cold and all, you know, basically they had sticks up their asses, basically. That's basically what Clark Kent was turning into.
Well, they were like that. They were like that.
Human.
They were like that until the time of Ponfar, and then they went haywire.
Ponfar, all right.
Oh, maybe that was the same thing with Kryptonians.
Yeah, must. What is it? Go to horny jail.
Well, so Superman was going around banging everyone?
It's only like
no, he was straight up in Lois at that time.
Oh, okay.
Superman. Who's gonna stop him?
She knew that it was him though. Like
Right.
there was no him hiding that shit.
Yeah,
in this whole
when she
around this
sneezed
time.
out his kids. Yeah.
I don't even see how that would work.
Blew right through her.
No, exactly. Like that would be a shotgun blast, or that'd be it,
right?
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
Like,
She'd have no more head.
Well, that's why a lot of people are arguing that Superman and Wonder Woman were the best.
Yeah, wasn't this discussed in fucking Mallrats? Didn't
Yeah.
Jason Lee have this discussion with
We all had this
Stan Lee?
Superwoman, yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely Team Superman, Wonder Woman. I agree. I think Lois Lane would not survive the shotgun blast of seeds.
Yep.
No.
No freaking way.
What happens if he's asleep and he sneezes and blows her out the fucking window?
Right? He had a
Well, what if we,
nightmare, and then like her limbs are just like ripped off.
So who? Wait a minute. Who would his side piece be? Would that be Power Girl?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh wait, that's his cousin.
That's his cousin. Yeah.
Wait, is
Why not?
Power
If
Girl
he's
is
in
his
Arkansas.
cousin?
Say again.
Power Girl's his cousin.
Yeah.
Well, she's a
Was
clone
that
of
retconned? Was that retconned?
No.
Kara is his cousin, and Power Girl is a clone.
Yeah,
of Kara.
Kara's his cousin. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and then they did that thing where she's in another dimension.
Yep.
And then they brought her over here. That's why there's the adult version. So she's not a clone anymore. She's literally her.
What they did with post-crisis Supergirl was they made her a shapeshifter.
Oh.
So she was not like anything to do with him. It was just a shapeshifter that decided to take on the guise of Supergirl because they killed off Supergirl in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep. Yeah, that's on the cover.
Yeah. They did Crisis on Infinite Earths to clean up their timeline, and all they did was make it more fucking convoluted.
Yep.
And then they had to go back and try and reboot everything with 0 Hour like 10 years after that, and they fucked that up.
Then they have the New 52. Like, yeah.
Yep.
they
And then
can't
after
figure out how
New
to fix this
52
shit.
came the rebirth after
Yep.
New 52 flopped.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's all in or some fucking
Yeah, all in.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolute
all in.
shit.
Well, the
Absolute.
absolute ones are supposed to be completely separate. Those ones are
Okay.
separate from the.
I thought the plan was to make them the main.
See, that's what I had thought too, because of them losing the fucking exclusive, because of them becoming public domain next decade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, in a couple of years. Yeah.
But yeah, see, this is right where Lobo faces off with Superman in the Fortress of Solitude.
He looks like
Now-
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, yes, this was pre-roided out Lobo. It was like later on in the year when Simon Bisley took over and decided to turn him into a jacked up fucking roid freak.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it is a better look. But I didn't mind Bon Jovi Lobo over here. He still beat the shit out of Superman. But all right, so this whole time he's fighting Superman, he's drinking this fucking stuff that he brought back. He's drinking this Okarian berry juice or some shit. So him and Superman's pal, they're fucking drunk off their asses already. All right, see up here. Bibbo is wearing the recording goggles, and then they find out afterwards that he had him recording the wrong way. So everything that was recorded, you see his eyes. But here, all right, Superman fights back, and then Lobo ends up fucking him up. See, this is awesome. Look at, he's got Superman in a headlock, and he's rapid fire punching him in the face. And this isn't roided out Lobo either, which was what he smashes Superman's face, makes Superman bleed. Superman's actually bloody and bruised from this.
Damn.
He's fucking smashing Superman's head into the wall so much that he breaks the fucking wall. And continues to get drunk. You see him drinking over here.
It's a spinach.
All right, so. All right, see, Superman tries to use his heat vision. Doesn't even work on Lobo. See, all right, he says, "You think a little heat is going to bother me? I'm Lobo. I ride through the coldest space in the heat of blazing suns. And no candy cane wimp like you is going to fry me." A candy cane wimp. But all right, see, more rapid fire punches to Superman's face. All right, so Lobo discovers that there's something that Superman's running from, and it's kryptonite he has stored, but Lobo's too fucking pissed drunk to fucking know what it is. All right, so then Superman has to come back in a Kryptonian battlesuit to try and kill Lobo, or to try and, at least fuck him up. So then Lobo ends up actually using the kryptonite. All right, here, look at this color fuck up. Look. You see this color fuck up?
Oh, yeah.
He's not Ghost Light here. They made him Superman's color.
Oh, shit. He got hit so hard he
He turned Caucasian. He went from ghost to Caucasian.
I see shit that'll turn you white.
So Lobo ends up firing rockets at the Kryptonian battlesuit, and he thinks Superman's dead. Superman faked his own death to get the hell away from Lobo because he didn't want to fight him anymore.
Oh my god.
So Lobo comes back to the planet where the guys bet him that he can't kill Superman. He doesn't even remember. This shark guy asks him, "Did you kill the Superman?" "Kill who? I don't remember you guys or a wager."
He was so drunk.
So they take the goggles. And here's the view of the goggles. It's all Bibbo's eyes. But everyone likes to credit, they want to credit Deadpool as being the original comedy guy. But every once in a while they would throw comedy into stuff and not make it not total cringeworthy. You know what I mean? Because Lobo is a comedic character.
Right.
All the over the top violence is supposed to be taken comedically. So the first issue of his miniseries. You see this shit right here. Exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. How can you not laugh at this? So this is he's supposed to transfer a prisoner, and he finds out that it's his ex-school teacher. And he finds out that he's not the last Zarnian. He finds out this woman here is his school teacher.
As Chris would say, embiggen yourself.
Oh,
Enoch Chuck.
true. I got to Apache Chief that shit. Yeah, see, here's the roided out Lobo that we all grew to know.
Yeah.
The Simon Bisley era.
Yeah.
I kind of like that design better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. So he doesn't want this woman getting out of his sight because he has to transfer her. And he always keeps his word. Lobo always keeps his word. That's why he ended up joining Legion.
So is Lobo the strongest character then in the DC universe? If he beats the shit out of Superman?
That I don't know. I'm not sure who's supposed to be the strongest in the DC universe. Because they also keep retconning stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep. Whenever they change these universes or do
reboots.
Yeah,
Exactly.
wasn't Brainiac like the most powerful one at one point?
Well, they said pre-Crisis Superman was so overpowered.
Mhm.
They said that if he collided headfirst with planet Earth, he would destroy the planet.
Jeez.
So they had to wipe his powers out from
Yeah.
that fucking extreme.
Came a long way from only leaping tall buildings at a single bound?
Right.
Yep.
Struggling to lift.
He
obese
wasn't
women.
even flying originally. He couldn't even
Faster
fly
than a
at
locomotive.
Yep.
All right, so I think maybe it's issue 3 where he.
I don't
goes
remember
to
them
the-
saying that with that whole thing. Faster than a locomotive could destroy the Earth with his
Yeah.
forehead.
It's like you kind of left the important part out there, buddy.
Can turn the planet Earth into pebbles with a headbutt.
Yeah, his
But
fart
what
could
happens
shatter
when
the planet.
masturbates then? Is that how the moon explodes and then there's no...
But this
Haley
right
Thomas-
here, he doesn't want her running off, so this is what he does to her.
Chops her legs
He
off.
rips her fucking legs off, so she won't
jeez.
get away from him again.
Damn.
An old fucking lady. He did that to an old lady.
Looks like something out of like a Tim Burton thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, even Lobo's design, he's got the funky hair like fucking Edward Scissorhands or some shit.
Yeah. He's a roided out Tim Burton comic.
I always compared him to roided out Rob Zombie.
Yeah. Look, yeah.
New version
Yeah.
of the movie Misery, man.
No, it's Rob Zombie. You got to go. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be by a dirty trailer park,
So, Lobo ends up getting her back to Vril Docks. Vril Docks stressed. I want her back here. So, here's what Lobo does. Brings her back here and then breaks her neck in front of him.
Oh, Jesus.
And then let's see. He said, delivered alive and into your custody. That was the deal. Didn't say nothing about after you had custody. Have a nice day. Ha, ha, ha. And here she is slumped over with a fucking broken chicken neck.
Damn. Fucked her up.
And then, they decided to want to throw this guy into hero teams and stuff.
Yeah, after he snapped some old lady's neck, ripped her legs off. It's still a better role model than most rappers today.
Another issue of Lobo that always gets a lot of attention is always the one with Santa Claus, where he gets hired to take him out.
The paramilitary Christmas, right?
Yes.
That was the Easter Bunny hires him to kill Santa Claus, right? Yes.
Yep.
That was in the slipcover, right? Was that in the slipcover collection? Yep.
That's awesome.
That was one I never found in the comic book stores.
Yeah, I used to have the original one straight out of the comic book store. I only have a couple left, and I don't remember if that one's in there or not.
Yeah, I wish I would have fucking seen that in the con. I would have saved up back in the day to get that fucking thing. $30 back in like 1990, 91, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That shit like modern day prices.
That's well over 100 today.
Bro, I saw all right, remember it was like, what was it, 96 when they did the Marvel vs. DC crossover? It was like 95 or 96 or something like that. It was the one where they had the fans vote on who wins between the fights.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I saw they put out a fucking the collection of it, and I saw it not too long ago in my local comic shop. Over $100.
Oh shit!
Holy fucking shit, man! Yeah, they made Lobo lose to Wolverine in that. Now
What?
I don't know, man. I think someone who beats the shit out of Superman would easily be able to kill Wolverine.
Yeah.
Or maybe not kill him, but
Defeat him.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Superman could have literally just grabbed Wolverine by the neck and flew up to the outer atmosphere and just watched him suffocate.
Or tie his fucking claws into fucking bows or some
shit.
shit.
Right.
Turn him into a pretzel. Yeah. I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to make you a living pretzel.
He'd be able to melt down that adamantium.
Where he's almost all the way dead, and then you throw him in outer space. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I figure you get rid of
throw him into the sun.
Grundy.
What really sucked about that DC versus Marvel shit? So I remember I had the first issue of it. I was living in Tennessee, and I was out of comic books at that point in 96. But I was in a supermarket and I saw it sitting there and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll pick this up. I only picked up the first issue of it. So they did this thing in the story where random characters just started popping up in the other universe. So like random Marvel characters would be popping up in the DC universe. So there's a scene in the Batcave. Batman and Robin are down there. And Bullseye just pops out of nowhere, doesn't know where he is, grabs Robin and puts a blade to Robin's neck, threatening Batman, trying to figure out where the hell he is. Batman knocked out Bullseye with one punch.
What?
He knocked out Bullseye with one punch.
That don't even make sense.
I mean, granted, yeah, Batman... Sure, we're trying to show that Batman is a badass character, but isn't Bullseye supposed to be like the mortal enemy of Daredevil? Supposed to tangle with him? Like if they have a fight, it's gonna last an entire issue.
His spine is also fused with adamantium.
Adamantium, yeah, yep.
I think what part of his skull as well? I forget.
Bullseye, they took him out of action in the comics for almost an entire decade. They took Bullseye out of action in comic books. And when they brought him back was when they brought him back with the adamantium bones and shit.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing. When you're talking about Superman and those claws, I don't think that he would be able to do anything to those claws.
Not even bend them?
I don't think he can. They're supposed to be damn near indestructible. From what they even say about, they say that he could re-enter Earth's atmosphere, and the heat from that would still wouldn't do any damage to adamantium.
Even a Kryptonian, we'll have to add the bullshit science of comic books from the universe.
Yeah, I mean, they do say extreme heat can soften it. But I don't think his heat ray vision would be hot enough to freaking melt it.
Well, if you think about it,
his
Magneto
super strength,
pulled it out of
his
body.
Yeah, Magneto pulled that shit straight out of his skin.
Yeah, but he can control metal, so I mean that's a whole different physics than heat.
Well, all right, but bending metal, you're kind of controlling it there too,
But has there ever been a precedent where Superman has bent or destroyed or broken any kind of adamantium or vibranium or anything?
Well, since it doesn't really.
You mean when they
exist
do
in
their
the DC
crossovers?
universe.
Yeah.
You're talking about if they do their crossovers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever. I'm sure in their crossovers they had Superman at least encounter Wolverine. I don't know if they actually had. Them
not in the old,
fighting.
not in the old ones, not in the old ones.
Yeah. Well, what freaked me out the most was that they allowed Wonder Woman to pick up Mjolnir.
They did.
Like, yeah, she's worthy of wielding Mjolnir.
Did they? They did that in that '90s one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yes, they also made Superman knock out Juggernaut with one punch, I think.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Well, no, wait a minute. How did that happen? Juggernaut's magic.
That's what I'm. Yep,
Mhm.
that's a good question, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, that's his weakness. That's Superman's weakness: kryptonite and magic.
That's
Let's
why
see.
Black Adam could kick Superman's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see if I could bring up the thing.
Wow. Damn. Literally beat up freaking the Juggernaut, bitch. I'm gonna rip
It's
you in
rigged,
half
man.
and shove
It
your
was
ass
all
up your
rigged
head.
against the Juggernaut because he's got magic, man. He's not even a mutant.
Yeah, he's not a mutant.
No,
in
he's
any
not
way.
a mutant.
Mhm.
And that's what pissed me off about that fucking X-Men movie. They didn't even
Yeah.
touch into that he was he wasn't a mutant at all.
X3 was a steaming pile of shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah. They didn't even talk about the whole thing of the Step Brothers or nothing.
Mm-mm.
With Xavier.
Okay, I can't find this, but I remember someone had posted a quick thing of this from the DC Marvel crossover in the 90s. And I remember because I didn't pick up issue 2 of it. I wasn't able to find any more after issue 1, but I remember this person had said that Superman one hits him. I'm trying to find
That's
it here. I can't
ridiculous.
find it. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, way to cheapen a freaking villain. Like, Juggernaut is literally
That's
the
exactly what
unstoppable-
it's doing. It's cheapening the fucking.
Well,
like you're making the X-Men look like scrubs.
Mhm.
Well, in the first crossover that they ever did, because I had like the completed collection of it, which I think I still have it somewhere. Maybe
The 80s ones, right?
They have Batman beat the Incredible Hulk by throwing a gas bomb and kicking the Hulk in the stomach.
No.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't have that one, but that was that one of the oversized issues?
Yeah.
It was like a giant yeah.
Is this DC writers writing Marvel characters?
Well, also
Sounds like
the thing was some of these guys like they would jump back and forth between DC and Marvel and stuff.
Mhm.
Here,
the one thing I know about with the DC stuff, they always refer to their characters as
gods.
As gods, yeah.
Yep.
So that's their pantheon. It's all all those characters. Superman is your strongest one. He's your fucking your Zeus figure. Like, yeah, it's weird when you do shit like that. You really do make
Cheapen
it difficult.
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
cheapen it for sure.
Okay, here's Superman knocking out Juggernaut.
That's offensive. Like, I don't want to see, like, that's frustrating, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
This is not-
unstoppable. Like, he's magic. Superman should have been like, why is my punch not working? Like,
If he
Or
was
it should have at least taken 20 punches to put
Right.
Juggernaut down.
yeah, because Juggernaut he's had battles with the Hulk, and sometimes
He's
the
had
Hulk
battles
wins.
with Thor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true too.
Thor did the fucking the tap on the ground lightning come from the sky.
Yeah,
It blasted Juggernaut. Juggernaut was stunned for a second, and then Juggernaut kept moving towards Thor.
oh, shit.
Thor was saved because the ground crumbled underneath the Juggernaut. The concrete actually crumbled underneath the Juggernaut and trapped him.
Wow.
But you know what? I want to see now if I can find fucking Lobo versus Wolverine. Because I don't know, man. Of course, Wolverine's a tough character, and they always got to, build him up like the biggest badass in the Marvel universe.
I hate how his popularity changed his character.
And we wanted to see Lobo versus Wolverine. No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
It was in the posters, man.
No, the cartoon changed the character's popularity. Like the original Pride of the X-Men, where he had the Australian accent.
Oh, where he's talking like this?
Yeah, that was closer to the like Wolverine is supposed to be this incredibly like off-putting, like Rorschach, like hard to be friends with kind of character.
Yeah.
And they softened him up, and then they made like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, who's like 6 foot something.
I hate that so much.
Yeah,
I hate tall Wolverine, man.
The ghost of Rorschach takes exception to that, Chris.
Well, like Rorschach. The reason why I liked Rorschach was that he was a heavily principled asshole, and you knew where you stood with him. Yeah, unyielding. Like, and the thing is he was a constant, and you could rely on the constant. Like, he was a good guy because he was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made him so endearing. And that's what pissed off Alan Moore, because people fell in love with that character. Yeah. And he's like, no, you like my character the wrong way.
But, this is also what, I'm going into with this whole series, though, of how, you had, they wanted to get away from the do-gooder characters.
Yeah.
Because, they weren't, the do-gooder characters were not the hot sellers when comic books blew up in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a long time for characters like Iron Man to catch on as like a really, really mainstream character.
Yeah.
He didn't really catch on as a mainstream character really until the movies. Because
Yeah.
before that, he was still like a C-list superhero.
No, actually, he wasn't. He wasn't really a C-lister because
Like
Marvel. Yeah, because Marvel had So in the '60s, him, Thor, Hulk. And then they revived Captain America from 2 decades earlier. They were still the constant, well-known characters, but they weren't
he
the
wasn't
household names that we got these days, you know?
Yeah.
I think Ferrigno was the one that pushed the Hulk the most, for that decade until the modern stuff.
Right.
Because they had a name and a face to tie to it after the TV series.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the 80s.
You also had the 80s cartoon too.
Yeah. Yep. Well, a lot of the 80s and 90s. I mean, that's where we had the rise in all of your Rambos and the Predator movie, all that shit. That's why people like the tough kind of
your gun-toting characters instead of your one who will never kill anybody.
Well, it's the unsafe character too. It's like, how the hell did you market Rambo to children?
Yeah.
Well, as long as he wasn't actually murdering people on the cartoon, they could get away with
Rambo,
it.
the
but we all watched the rated R movie, so it's it's so crazy how they got that brand off the ground like that for kids.
Yeah,
but there was always ways to get around it. Say for cartoons, make this rifle a laser beam, instead of actually firing bullets. Or we'll turn the foot soldiers into robots. That way the Ninja Turtles can use. That way the Ninja Turtles can use their weapons on them and kill them.
Did I hear a clang?
I get it, but I mean, I was just saying though, because the kids are watching the Rambo cartoon, and then I'll watch the movie,
Yeah, and, holy shit!
And the kids are watching these rated R movies where he's ripping out guys' throats and.
Yeah, RoboCop too.
Yeah,
it was a fucking RoboCop.
I saw that in the theater as a kid.
Yep, me too.
Crazy.
God, that was one of the first really over-the-top violent movies that my dad actually took me to see. I wasn't even 10 years old.
Yeah. We were the last non-mollycoddled generation. We were shown the horrible shit, and most of us turned out okay.
How many of us
titties and
Oh, no, not me, bro. Not me, bro. I could watch the most violent movie in the world. If there was so much a glimpse of a fucking side nipple, I would be escorted out of the fucking room, bro. I'm not kidding you. Yo, all right. It was I can't remember whether it was one of the holidays we used to go to, my family in New Jersey. It was either like Thanksgiving or Christmas was around that time. So it was around the time where the very first Terminator movie had been put on cable.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in one of my cousin's rooms, but it's not just us cousins. It's like, everyone's there. Like the adults are in there, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So Terminator's on TV. I got to watch all the killing parts. Once Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor started to have sex, I got escorted out of the fucking room.
Oh my god.
Holy
So
shit.
no, we weren't all fed fucking, the most hardcore of hardcore scenes.
But the generation
I can watch someone get their head cut off, but I can't see a nipple.
But our generation was, to Chris's point, it's our generation that had all of that. It was there. Now, just because they wouldn't let you watch it didn't mean those of us that weren't older were already watching it, though. That's my point. It was there. You don't have.
No,
that.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
also you had to do, when you were a kid, you have to be very careful sneaking around,
We had
Yeah.
Porkies and meatballs and we
Yeah.
had comedy.
Mhm.
We had people trying.
Dude,
Porkies.
They made a cartoon show out of Police Academy.
Yep.
Yep.
And children's toys. And children's toys.
You know the one where the guy faked the Spanish accent so he could bang?
What about what Lesarge did? The freaking
getting a blowjob.
Getting a blowjob from the hooker at the podium. Yeah.
Yeah, was that part of the cartoon intro?
Yeah, right. And then he thought it was Mahoney because he popped his head out.
Yeah. and then at the end, he gets Mahoney back.
Yep.
He has the hooker under the podium when Mahoney's doing his speech.
Oh my god. Yeah, and that was a kid show. That was a cartoon show for kids.
You know what they should have did? They should have did a Cheech and Chong kids show.
Right.
I think that that was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah,
They did do a Cheech and Chong. It was called Cheech and Chong. Then the next movie, and you just watched it. It just wasn't a cartoon.
Yeah.
Till we were older.
Yeah, till the drugs kicked in. Oh shit!
I mean, when they came out with the animated stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I see this.
It was
So
the Bone
look
Claw
at this.
version.
Yes, it is the fucking Bone Claw version.
And that's when they
Aw.
have beat him, so it's even more ridiculous.
And look at this. What they do? They have them tangling behind the bar.
So they don't have
First of all, why does it look like there's a goddamn dildo on the table?
Because there is.
Oh my god, that one's a circumcised one.
There's two of them.
And then look at how they show you who the winner is. Wolverine reaches up and grabs a cigar.
Oh my god.
That is
I'm glad I didn't get this issue.
Holy
That's
shit.
freaking lame.
Terrible.
The fans voted on this too.
Screw
They
those
had
guys.
so it was they had like the people who were going to battle. They had it set up. They had it, I think. All right, Batman versus Captain America, Superman versus Spider-Man, Wonder Woman versus Storm, I think.
Yep.
And then the Lobo versus Wolverine, and I can't remember what the other one was.
Do we know who all the winners are?
I remember Wonder Woman got Mjolnir in one.
Yeah, so who tangled with Thor then?
I don't know. Thor is Superman level strength.
Yes.
Wasn't it Shazam? No. Maybe?
Oh, yeah, it probably would have been Shazam. It probably would have been Shazam then.
Yeah, and then because after that battle, Wonder Woman picks up Mjolnir while she was losing, and ends up, you are worthy or what? I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Okay, I got it here. So this is this was what they had, how the fans could vote for the comics. You see it here. All right, Batman, Captain America, Hulk versus Superman. Oh, Superboy versus Spider-Man was the other one.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. You could have found someone better to put against Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Superboy? Come on, man. All right, Wolverine versus Lobo, Wonder Woman versus Storm.
Green Lantern would have made more sense.
The
Green
fans
Lantern.
voted on this. Yeah, Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That could have been fun. Especially they were both a little bit kind of wise-assy. Spider-Man more so.
So who would be the Marvel equivalent of Batman? Would it be Daredevil or Captain America?
Maybe Daredevil?
Iron Man?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Kinda. I mean, Captain America, he's got the super serum,
Yeah.
so he's not just a regular man. But
Yeah.
Daredevil, all of his senses are heightened.
But he's blind.
Yeah, he's blind, but he's super agile and everything. I think Daredevil would have been a better fit with Batman than Captain America.
Yeah. I would agree, just because of the simple fact that Captain America does have the serum.
Yeah.
So who would be
Moon Knight? Yeah, Chicago.
Oh yeah,
Cubs.
Moon Knight. That's true. Hey, what's up, Chicago Cubs? How you doing, man?
Though I'd kind of like to see, I don't know, man. That's what we should do. We should figure out maybe next time we do this, or one of the times we get together and do something like this, an idea of who would be our, Marvel versus DC.
Mm-hmm.
Although, doesn't Moon Knight have powers?
Oh, yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah.
Cap and Wolverine,
Wasn't he resurrected from the dead?
I've never read the original stuff.
I thought the original Moon Knight, I thought he was resurrected from the dead because he was a mercenary.
Can't remember.
Yep, that's all right. Okay. Mark Spector, he was a mercenary. He was killed. The god Khonshu resurrects him as his avatar. Yes, so Moon Knight is fucking super powered.
He's a zombie.
Moon empowerment enhances his abilities at night. Okay.
He's a deadite.
Yeah.
And he has mystical visions, so he's tripping all the time.
Yep.
All right, so who would be the DC equivalent to Iron Man? Would it be Cyborg? Steel?
Well, Batman would have been it, except for the freaking armored suit.
Yeah, but it's not like he wears that armored suit all the time, though,
Iron Man, when he's fighting, he does.
No, Batman. Batman's not always wearing his armor.
Right. Yeah, he does have armored suits, too.
Yeah.
There's your real fucking face-off. The face-off of the billionaire.
Yeah. Yep.
And Rocket Red. I fucking... That character... Do they still even fucking do anything with that character?
I'm not familiar with that. Rocket Red?
Oh, Rocket Red. He was a DC... He's in those the Justice League issues that I was showing with Lobo. The ones where Lobo versus Guy Gardner.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he was like basically Russian Iron Man, basically. Even though there was a Russian Iron Man in Iron Man comics, a fucking Crimson Dynamo.
Yep.
But I'll wrap this up here. I just wanted to, like I was saying before, I really wanted to get back into doing comic stuff on the channel.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of how I started doing stuff. Doing like old back issue stuff, but
awesome.
Yeah, I'll get into some of these characters and the kind of changes they decided to make, and it's kind of like, did they know they were doing this? Did they know they were going to have like the more rough around the edge characters be more popular than, because it's like you guys were saying before about Alan Moore, how he hated that Rorschach was fucking loved, that he was
yeah because he's so black and white, you know where you stood with him. But, he had no gray area.
Yeah but it was a constant too. Like he never changed, he never wavered. It was like, this is non-negotiable. This is what I believe, and if you're in line with it, you get along with them.
Yeah, basically.
And violence sells, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it makes this 2025 make more sense if you think about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because everything has... it really hit home in the 90s, just how fucking over the top everything had to be.
We're Rorschach. We're all Rorschach.
And then a decade later, you get fucking Saw and Hostel. You get shit like that as like our regular entertainment.
Yeah. Pushing the envelope of crazy.
Yeah.
But, that was the first talk on Lobo. I'll do this once a month. I think I'm gonna
Cool.
I got a couple more characters lined up. Next time, gonna talk about the Punisher. So I'm sure you guys will be more into, you'll have more knowledge about that than Lobo.
Cool, man. Yeah. Frank Castle.
I guess
Castiglione.
I guess you could take this as like me complaining, but also praising it at the same time of the way this, like the way this all unfolded, because it did get me into comic books a lot more.
Yeah.
I was into comic books already, but the Punisher is what really heavily got me into Marvel comics. Like
Nice.
I would pick up a Marvel issue here and there. I was more of like an accidental DC guy. It wasn't on purpose. It was just like I was more drawn to issues of DC stuff.
Gotcha.
But once all right. I know you're probably gonna hate me for saying this, Vinny, but when I saw Jim Lee doing fucking Punisher War Journal, like I was as a little kid, I was blown away seeing this. I was like, I don't know. I know you got a grudge against Jim Lee. I know you don't like him too much.
No, dude.
I also know you don't like hero worship and stuff, but I don't hero worship. I just give praise where it's due.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
second coming of Jesus.
No. I thought he was good. And back then, I preferred his work there than I do his current shit. I don't like at all. But his old stuff was fantastic, dude. Yeah, I remember reading those. Those are fucking great.
Yeah, I have the X-Men. I was like hooked.
Yeah, I have the trade paperback on. I have the original issues of those X-Men when him and Claremont they did #1 when you started like that. But I had like the I showcased it on a short or something where they did the remastered coloring like today's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was beautiful. I liked it a lot. It made his artwork look even better.
Yeah, he was doing Uncanny too. I remember. It was the Acts of Vengeance storyline. That was the first. It's the cover where it's Wolverine, where he's like just wearing like a fucking loincloth, and he's slashing Mandarin's armor up.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, man, they had fucking cool stories and fun stuff. I wonder if they didn't go ahead and jump to Image and didn't do all that crap. I wonder where it would have all kind of went.
That's a good fucking, it's a good thing to ponder.
Because we had some of the best artists working on some of the coolest characters. Because let's face it, a lot of their own shit was not that good.
A lot of their own shit,
yeah,
right?
like fucking Wildcats. That fucking book sucked.
I like the way the characters looked, and I did buy a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
There was certain points though where I was turning more collector than fucking reader.
And that's the thing too. They kind of steered the whole collecting market in a different
more
direction.
Collector, yeah.
Yeah, which sort of sucked because you'd want better stories, not just the flashy art.
Which I guess I could say I was part of the problem there too.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all were because we were following our favorites.
This was the first issue of X-Men I picked up.
Yeah, I have one of those compendiums as well. It had like a lot of like the key issues that I think that Jim Lee had done.
Oh, this storyline was Acts of Vengeance. All the villains decided to get together and strike all the heroes, but like they were all going after each other's like enemies. Like, see, Wolverine versus Mandarin. Mandarin's the one who turns Psylocke from a British girl into a Japanese ninja.
Oh, it was him? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't remember that.
Yes, that was the X-Men portion of the Acts of Vengeance.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense why her armor was like that purple shit.
Yep.
That whole look.
Yeah. Yeah, the top of her helmet had the same kind of shit going on.
Yeah. Her redesign was much needed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank God.
Absolutely.
That's probably, I think, Jim Lee's best contribution to the X-Men is Psylocke, for sure.
Well, we also had, he redid Sabretooth's costume. He redid.
Oh, yeah. Omega Red. That was my favorite
Omega
era.
Red, Maverick.
Yep. That was my favorite era of him, in the work that he did.
But, yeah, I know he's supposed to be playing Lobo, but it's just too late. It's too late. My interest is gone. I have no interest anymore in any
they'll just fuck
any comic book movie. Any comic book movie, I don't
Yep.
And like I said, I guess when I say I guess I was a part of the problem, because when I was a little kid, I was like, why don't we get more superhero movies? 30 years later, I'm like, we need way, way less superhero movies.
Could we get an actual superhero movie then? Because I say the shit we're getting in a superhero movie, it goes against every single thing that we like, and they're going to change it anyway. Watch, Lobo will be a female, and it won't be. Oh, it will still be played by Jason Momoa, but it'll have to be a female. Now that I might actually go see that, because that would be hilarious.
Or they showed clips of it. They showed a picture of he's on a bike, like a regular fucking motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had mentioned there was an interview he did where he was on a bike, and he's like, "Well, I could see myself being Lobo," because even he wasn't on with the Iron Man or with being Fish Boy, Aquaman.
Yeah.
After
I saw the interview with him where when he walked in, he thought he was going to be playing Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when DC
and they were like,
yeah,
and they were like, no, you're going to be Aquaman. It's like, what a fucking, like, you had a slam dunk there. You had Lobo sitting right in front of you.
These studios are brain dead, absolutely brain dead. And then what? Now that you finally did it, look who's in charge. A guy who's, well, we know what he is, but that's why I'm not supporting any of that crap. And I think his vision and James Gunn is overrated on every level. I saw the leak of the script and the plot points. Dude, Jimmy Olsen saves the day by sexting with Lex's girlfriend. Okay, that's the storyline we're gonna get.
Oh wow, superheroes!
Get ready for that, folks.
And he couldn't even do really anything for Marvel, and we know this because when you look at the stuff he did, it sucked.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but Guardians
did they do a Guardians 3? Did they do a Guardians 3?
I don't know,
but I didn't see it.
Yeah, okay, so they did do a Guardians 3. See, I didn't even. One was okay. People praise that movie. It was okay. It was okay.
I think Chris Pratt
and two, I couldn't take it. I didn't like 2.
Mm-hmm.
No, they depended so much on fucking music. They're like, we have to have an old song for this scene.
Yep.
We have to have an old song for that scene.
Yep.
That's the shit you do when you have nothing else to fucking show anybody.
Yep.
Well, it was a rinse and repeat of the first movie.
Exactly what it was. That opening scene in the second one where little baby Groot is busy setting up the fucking speaker system while they're getting into battle. It's like, I'm not laughing. This is not. It's not funny.
Well, that wasn't for you anyway. That was.
I know they're going for the cat ladies.
They lost it. You know what I mean? Like they forgot to make the Groots.
Yeah, it's basically it was just marketing. That's all it was.
Yep.
Groot was a marketing tool.
Yeah.
And then they want to do the same thing with Rocket Raccoon. Because they said, I think the third movie, they said it's basically his origin story and just like a heartbreaking bullshit. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. I
don't want to see it.
It's not good.
Same with the Christmas special. I didn't want to see that either because I wasn't.
The Kevin Bacon one?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Rocket Raccoon was a fucking character they did a mini series of, like, in the mid 80s that nobody fucking. I don't even think they used this character in anything else.
Yeah.
Before they decided to throw him into Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like the refuse. It was like the $5 and under bin at Walmart for the DVDs.
Groot was one of those monster characters from the old. When Marvel would have the giant, like the giants destroying the city comics, like Fin Fang Foom, characters like that. That's what Groot was.
Oh, he was that big?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that's what Groot was. Groot was one of those fucking characters. And then, for some reason, they just threw them into these things and made them huge fucking characters, it seems. But
wow.
Yeah, it's sad how successful Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the movie, was, and how it spawned so many attempts to, basically, catch lightning again. Because, all of their, I'm sorry, but Suicide Squad and, all of these other things, it's like, guys, it might have worked in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but the subsequent ones have gotten steadily worse. And then, all the offshoots and attempts to, kind of mimic it, other ripoffs, essentially, are They're not good, guys. Like,
But
try something else.
But here's the thing, because of this guy and his bizarre, sick, illegal fetishes. Because I'm sorry, people seem to forget that why there was a hiatus between fucking Guardians 2 and 3, and in between that he did the other stupid movie for DC, Suicide Squad, because he was being canceled for the awful shit that he was putting online that was very, very twisted, and all of his friends being arrested for that, and then they reward him. Because then Marvel's like, yeah, we don't want him. We want nothing to do with him. Until Suicide Squad came out and made money. And they're like, okay, we'll hire him again. And all the stupid actors petitioned because they loved going to the parties with him.
Well, remember they kind of gave him like a quiet. They gave him like a little bit of a quiet comeback with Brightburn. Because not that he wrote it or anything, but he had something to do with it.
Yeah, he produced it or something.
Yeah, so that was them kind of just like, oh wait, we're just gonna slip him back in here under this napkin. Don't mind us.
I'm sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy was great.
The first one, it was.
I think the second one was great too. I had no interest in the third one. I didn't think the second one was as good as the first one. I still thought it was funny. It was still enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And even Suicide Squad, even with the problems that had, I thought that was closer to Suicide Squad than that first shit ass one that they had.
Oh, the Will Smith one?
Oh God, that thing was freaking horrendous. Like, everybody was like, if you think you should watch that one, that's much better than this new Suicide Squad. I watched it and it was dog shit.
Yeah,
it was absolute garbage.
They both sucked.
That's one thing that bothers me
I couldn't get through the second one. I put the opening on because I heard Michael Rooker gets killed. So I'm like, I want to see him die. And I couldn't even make it through there. I'm like, oh my God, this is retarded with the guy with his arms falling off. And
but that's what bothers me too with Suicide Squad, because the 80s issues of Suicide Squad were good. They were good fucking story. This was also pre-Harley Quinn Suicide Squad. This was before they slapped her face on Suicide Squad and made her like the fucking mascot of it.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I'm going to be touching on too later. The early Suicide Squad, pre-Harley Quinn Suicide Squad. But thanks for hanging out with me and doing this, guys.
It was fun, man.
Always fun, brother.
But you want to drop your link, Vinny? If you're able to.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it. I'll just do here's the link.
This is absolutely true. Chicago Cubs. Everyone. It's just not just Marvel and DC. So many creative groups have lost their way. So many of them lost their way.
Well, I don't even know if it's that they don't have any creativity, but they're actually being stifled by management.
Oh, I guarantee.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, because I know a lot of people in the industry. A lot of them just don't even care. As long as they're getting paid, they'll tell whatever story they're told to tell. They don't give a shit, because they'll give them bullet points of what they're kind of looking for or what they want, and then they do police them as well. But
remember, I was telling you guys that it was like a compilation clip. They were talking to a whole bunch of the guys working on all the Marvel projects. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them had said the same fucking thing, and this was like over time, different fucking shows and movies they're doing. And every single one of them were saying they were exclusively told to not look up anything on these characters and study into the lore.
Oh, yeah.
They were instructed not to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you notice? So all of the new MCU films that have come out, it's been all these like no-name directors or directors who have like one credit to their name. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they do that is so the studio can manipulate those people, because Kathleen Kennedy tried to pull that shit with real directors. Like, God, what were the ones? It was a duo that tried to do Rogue One, and they got ousted for creative differences.
Was it? It wasn't the Russo brothers, was it?
No, it was like something and something. I can't remember their names. But it was like those.
Oh,
directors.
I remember. I don't remember their names though. But
I
know. Mm-hmm.
They got ousted, and then like they went through like a litany of directors. And in fact, remember when the guys who did Game of Thrones were going to go do a Star Wars thing? They got ousted
Mhm.
because they were real. Like, as much as I hated the last, season of Game of Thrones or whatever, the point is they had enough clout to be like, dude, we're not doing this shit,
Yep.
And that's why they get these like no name, like I produced a documentary on people eating their own poo, like that was like their one credit.
Yeah. Like Captain America, they got the guy who did Rocketeer, because he's someone that was kind of okay with putting a little bit in there, but they needed something that was going to be very what's the word I'm looking for? They needed all American, and a lot of these other directors don't know how to do it because most of them are communists, so or fascists, or they're lunatics, the left.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we'll get this guy because he did such a great job at Rocketeer, and that's all American, iconic. That's what we need, and that's what they went for, and that's what it worked.
But Vinny,
But
what you got coming up, man?
Sunday we're going to be we're on episodes, I believe, 9 and 10 of season 2 of Dexter. So yeah, we're very close to finishing off season 2.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, we're flying through these. So not this week, but the following week is going to be the last 2. It'll be 11 and 12. But yeah, Sunday is going to be 9 and 10, and we just saw Dokes discovering slides in Dexter's home. So
slides, motherfucker.
Slides, motherfucker. So and he's got that crazy girlfriend, and so that's the season we're on, and pretty damn awesome stuff, and it starts to open up into bigger things. So so I'm sure we're going to be doing season 3 as well, because the show's just that good, the original one.
Oh, I'm down for the whole fucking series, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, as long as I can still do them, I'll be doing them. But yeah, absolutely. And like I said, working on my comics as well. Showed a little bit of a teaser yesterday, but I'm on the last handful of pages for Pencils and Ink. So get ready. City Venus 2 is coming at you soon. But in the meantime, you can pick up Shadow of the Kraken, which is my icon here. It'll go to Vinny Art. Or just click the link tree. It'll take you to the campaigns. I have the art books that are still available and original artwork on the campaign. So check them out. Buy my merch. Check out the YouTube channels. I got Vinny Art YouTube, and Mellow Art World is more of the just straight up artwork. There's nothing else on there but my lessons and other kind of comic book related stuff only. So but yeah, Vinny Art's got a little bit of everything, the toys, all that great stuff. And yes, we do the toy stream with Tommy and shit, and the rest of you guys as well, and Trina, and yeah, it's always a blast. Check out the one we did on Thursday. That was a lot of fun. But I'm talking enough here. I sound like somebody else.
I got you, man. But yeah, man, thanks for chilling out.
A pleasure, bro.
Appreciate it. And Chicago Cubs, movie night is going to be taking a week off, and next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday, we're going to be talking about The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Hell yeah.
And Chris, you want to throw your link? Is he back in the tunnel? Oh, okay.
Next week, possibly this time, I'll be launching the long-awaited Infinitale Chronicles #2. This one's been quite the challenge to get out, so I'm happy to finally see it released. It's fantasy, action adventure, like Lord of the Rings, Dragonlance, all that stuff mixed into one. It's not your capes and tights kind of graphic novel, but if you like stories with a lot of violence and sadness and all that emotional, feely stuff, and cool people getting their asses kicked, I think you'll like Infinitale Chronicles.
Is anybody tunneling around in Infinitale Chronicles?
Now that I think about it, in the first book, that's where the people tried to hide underground, and it didn't save them.
I hear Havanagila. Is this coming from underground?
They hit a lot of mattresses down there. They had to pop back up to the surface.
It's either feces or blood. We don't know. You don't judge. Just buy it.
Is someone in that
tunneling?
Is someone in that sewer singing "Dreidel, Dreidel, Dreidel"?
Oy vey.
Oy vey.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. God, I'm hoping this one resonates with the people who backed the first one, because it's taken so damn long to get out, and I'm hoping that it's a worthy successor. So we'll find out next week.
Yeah, man.
Well, good luck to you, brother.
Thanks, man.
And thanks for chilling out, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And Tommy. Thanks for chilling out, man. You still here? Man?
Yo, Tommy!
Hey, Tommy, you not here, man?
He thought I was
Okay.
still talking.
Okay. Maybe Tommy fucking tunneled underground.
Well,
Adam?
the guinea pig's got to look for some food from time to time, or you never know. It could just be the internet, damn you, CenturyLink. But, Xfinity did me dirty with the storms and the wind. Well, didn't blow me down. So I'm still here, and it's been a whole lot of fun. So, yeah, I have no idea what's going on other than I'm excited for you and I to watch Dexter on Sunday since, we did this today and we're not doing movies tomorrow. But that doesn't mean we won't do something off air. You never know. But no, man, this was a lot of fun. And again, thank you for wanting to go back old school and go, to your roots with the comics and bringing it up and bringing all us and with, come on with you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank all you guys for
appreciate
joining me for this, man. I appreciate the hell out of it too, man. Let's see if Tommy is Tommy back. Let me poke Tommy with a stick. Tommy.
Don't do
Tommy, do something.
I won't
Do
Hey,
something,
Tommy, I got
Tommy.
$1.
I won't do anything.
What are you,
All right,
Magneto?
okay, you grumpy bastard. I got it. Nah, man, thanks for chilling out, man. And I know you're a Lobo fan like I am too. So
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, but I mean, it's a lot to try to delve into.
well, yeah, that scrawny Lobo, that was New 52 Lobo, right? Not that was yeah.
Or one of them, either Rebirth or New 52. I forget.
I heard that Lobo was such a fucking horror show that they killed him off in the Rebirth series.
Well, from what I understand, that they bring the old Lobo back to take him out.
Yeah, I saw something like that. Like they found him in it was remember when they used to fucking go up with the jar universes? Did anyone ever remember they had the universes inside the jars in DC? I heard that's the pocket universes and shit. Yes,
that's going to be in the movie.
I heard that's how they killed off the New 52 Lobo.
Well, yeah, apparently that's going to be in the new James Gunn movie too.
Yeah. And that's how Jimmy Olsen's going to find where Superman is, because he's literally sending dick pics to fucking to Lex's girlfriend, and that's how he's gonna find out. Isn't that amazing?
Well, I saw a clip of Guy Gardner flicking somebody away.
Yep.
Now, all he does is he just waves his hand, and it's not even that the giant green hand is coming from the Green Lantern ring. It comes from underground and smacks somebody away.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry, the Green Lantern rings are supposed to come. The projections are supposed to come from the ring,
right?
Like, why are we we shouldn't be having to point this out. This is stuff that should be well known. Warner Brothers has owned DC Comics for decades now, so whatever. If they want to keep shooting themselves in the foot, let them do it till they have no toes left to stand on.
This is it. This is it for them. They said if this movie flops and they can't get their universe off the ground, they're gonna have to wrap everything up, and then they basically want to sell off characters and shit, and just do the trade paperbacks that'll stay in with the ISBN number and all that shit. It'll stay in circulation on Amazon and stuff like that. They're not looking to back this stuff anymore. If this flops, it's going to hurt them in a massive way.
Well, they deserve it.
Yep,
they
I agree.
Fucking deserve it.
That's what happens when you put someone like that in charge.
Or when you know what? It was even before him though, because they were doing it with their own fucking comic book issues.
Oh, I agree. But I'm saying you don't reward someone.
They had to trans everything up. They had to gay everything up. They had to let all their white readers know what pieces of shit they were just because they were born with white skin or you were born a man. And, you know, when you do that and you're fucking up your whole fucking thing from the inside out, you deserve what you get.
Well, look what I just told you too before. We were talking about that artist, great artist and everything, and they spend most of their lives just bitching about Orange Man and hating on everybody else. Okay, well, that's why you guys are at where you're at right now.
Yep. You know, you're not going to have any toes left shooting yourself in the foot so many times.
Yep. Because they're going to be in their little cubicle, you know, or being turned into human batteries, and they're going to wonder what happened.
Oh, but my virtue signaling was so good.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, fuck modern entertainment. Although I want to see Nicolas Cage as John Madden. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Dude, he looks spot on.
It's fucking insane. It's insane. Like he must have been mainlining gravy to fucking get it. Oh my god.
Free-base Pillsbury Doughboy. Like,
well, don't forget too, he's also playing the live action version of Spider Noir.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
They have a full trailer.
What is Spider Noir? What is?
It's from the multiverse thing that they had on those animated ones with Miles Morales. There's a Spider Noir.
I didn't see it.
Black and white.
Well, Nicolas Cage voices him, but now he's playing the live action version of him.
Yeah, fortunately, he's all in a costume, so you don't really see him.
Yeah.
I want to see Nicolas Cage as John Madden as Spider-Man.
I want to see Nicolas Cage with that mullet, like as John Madden, like John Mullet.
Do you want to watch it? You want to watch the trailer now, or you want to watch it after?
Got it.
Of nice. What the Nicolas Cage movie?
Yeah,
the
Spider
Noir.
Well, I think they'll probably fucking come after me if I play it on stream. So I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. We'll do it after that. But thank you guys for coming and chilling out. I'm gonna do I'll do the next one around this same. I'll do it like mid-month June. Do this next series with the Punisher. Do this next episode with the Punisher. But Vigilante, Frank, Cotton, Chicago Cubs. Thank you guys for chilling out. No movie tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'll bring it back next Saturday. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And
classic.
Hell yeah. Ford Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective.
Yeah.
How about Andrew Dice Clay as Spider-Man?
No.
Mary Jane was sucking my cock. Ow! Yeah. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Peace out.
Have a good one.
What's up, DiBiase, punk ass bitch? Oh, motherfucker.